Thank you, Swapnil. Thank you very much for joining for today's session. For the benefit of the audience, what we are planning to do now is we are planning to basically we're keeping these kind of sessions wherein I'm calling up few of my past students who have cleared successfully, being able to clear the exam and help us with what was their unique strategy that they applied, what were the problems that they faced, how they overcame that problem, and how primarily they were able to get successful in the course and clear the exam primarily. And before, so in today's session we have Swapnil with us, and he was primarily able to clear FRM level 1, FRM level 2, and CFA level 2 in one go, and that too in the month of May and June together. And the preparation that he primarily started out mostly was around 2.5 months time he took for the entire thing. And this is a commendable achievement, which we can see that it's within such a short span of time he was able to clear the entire uh, three difficult exams that we see in finance. And that's wonderful. And what primarily I before going into the discussion with Swapnil, I would like to highlight, if you're planning to give FRM level 1, level 2, or these exams together, please note that it can be generally done when you are full time into studying. Okay, so if you're working and planning to do this kind of exams together, that might become sometime challenging, but obviously it depends upon individual to individual. And when Swapnil was also preparing, so he was primarily focusing only on this exam at that point in time. So without much ado, we'll start with this session. We'll have a quick introduction from your side, Swapnil. Before giving this exam, what was your background, education background, if work experience? So kindly help us to know that.
Uh, Hello, sir. This is Swapnil. So, at the time of giving my FRM examination, I had just completed my MBA, and before MBA, I had 1 year experience as a graduate engineer trainee. I have done my chemical engineering from NIT Nagpur, and I had no finance background as such before my MBA. So, the MBA was the only thing closest to finance for me, and
Okay.
yeah. So that was it. I just completed my MBA and I decided to give an attempt all
Okay.
these exams.
So after completing your MBA, you had some time gap, and you basically tried to utilize that time gap of around 2.5, 3 months to prepare for that.
Exactly. Correct,
Right.
correct. So my college got over around Feb 10, Feb 15. And around that time, I had registered for this, but I had not started studying full time as I was in Rohtak at that time. And I came to Mumbai close to like somewhere between, end of May. And that was the time I started full time preparing for this. Given FRM exams are held in third week of May. So I
Mhm.
had from last week of Feb close to uh, last third week of May.
May.
So
Okay.
approximately 70-75 days. Yeah, I had this
Yes.
done.
And that is where basically you came down for the session and we started out with the preparation. So
Yeah.
before starting out with that preparation, was there any roadmap or any specific thing that you knew that you want to do in that next 75 days? What was your mindset?
Yes. So I remember we had a discussion before I even had this thought of doing it together. I remember I called you and I was like, "Sir, is this feasible? I'm planning to, enroll with you. So is it feasible?" So yeah, the consensus was, yeah, it can be done. And yes, I didn't have a roadmap at that point of time. I just knew it could be done.
Okay.
So as I got into it, I realized, yeah, I have given it for a big commitment. It's not an easy task, and yeah, eventually it dawned to me, yeah, it's going to be a Herculean task.
Okay.
So
So
at
once you
that
decide,
point, there was no
yeah.
roadmap.
Okay, there was no roadmap. Okay. So when you decided to start the preparation, okay, so and you knew that in the month of May you're going to be giving
Mhm.
two exams, level 1 and level 2 together on the same day, right?
Correct.
So level 1 in the morning, level 2 in the afternoon. Uh, and
Correct.
June again,
Correct.
it's going to
Correct.
be CFA. So what was your preparation strategy at that point in time?
Okay, so when I started in my initial days, I was very quick to realize FRM level 2 was heavy on conceptual theory. It was not just theory, but there were certain
Right.
heavy things, heavy aspects in conceptual theory like credit risk. So I figured out this could be a pain point during the last days of my preparation. So I focused more on FRM level 2. So a better part of my day used to go in preparing for FRM level 2 because that
Okay.
was a part which took time to stick. It was difficult to digest as well. So I
Hmm.
think I devoted like almost one third of my day's preparation to FRM level 2 and
Okay.
FRM level 1 post that, and CFA level 2 was only on 50% of the topics. 60% of the topics I had planned to cover along with my FRM, because I
Okay.
knew once FRM exams get over in May 19th, I have 1 month's time again for CFA
Okay.
level 2.
Okay.
Yeah, so I only had to cover like 60% of CFA level 2 syllabus along with FRM, and that too
Hmm.
towards the last month. In May, I stopped preparing CFA level 2 completely. So I switched gears back to FRM L1 and L2 in the last 20-25 days.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, broadly, this was it.
And in terms of,
Uh,
like you mentioned that you were focusing more on level two. So let us talk about FRM level two.
correct, correct.
So in level
Yeah,
two, when you're preparing, so operation risk was a huge chunk, being a very
correct,
theoretical
correct,
concept.
correct.
So did what any particular strategy within the FRM level two domain that you used while
Uh,
preparing revision or
yeah,
something like that?
yeah. So I was more focused on credit risk as such because
Okay.
it was very conceptually heavy.
Hmm.
Market risk and the book 4, I guess, investment risk. So I
Right.
felt that was very logical and it came to me easily. So the chapters were not huge. The chapters were like not demanding as well. But when it
Okay.
came to credit risk, I felt, I was like it. I felt a bit challenged. So on the
Okay.
operational risk part, I saw that it was merely theory.
Hmm.
So there was nothing like as in very difficult to grasp on. So,
Okay.
but eventually it so happened that I couldn't complete all the chapters in operational risk as well. So I
Okay.
focused on some of the chapters. Yeah, we know like there are 20,
Right.
25 big chapters and it's a huge book. Yeah. So I had to like, let go some of the chapters
Hmm.
just for, to revise the entire curriculum properly. Yeah.
Okay.
And
Okay.
in operational risk, it happens that the questions are sometimes as such that you may be able to guess or eliminate the options. So I felt I was good with that, and maybe these were some of the topics which I could,
Okay.
not prepare and take a chance.
Right, right. So primarily, so you realize that market and investment book was your forte and credit was not. So you focused more on
Correct,
that
correct.
side. And with respect to the operation risk,
Yeah.
primarily your elimination strategy work. And that is what we normally tell to the students also, that if since that entire book is purely theory, so you can spread
Mm-hmm.
that book for like 1-2 months and keep on revising one chapter each day so that you do not forget on that topic. But definitely, since you were facing a lot of time crunch because you also had to prepare other
Exactly.
things, so that
Yeah.
got missed. What about current issues? Was there any particular focus on current issues, if you remember?
Uh, no, I don't think there was any particular issue. I knew it was a small section and definitely there would be questions.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I had done it very thoroughly
Asha.
because the current issues, it couldn't be out of the syllabus. It has to be within the small segment what they have prescribed. And I was
Right,
sure I could get an easy, like, 4 to 5 questions there in a
right.
like,
Okay, wonderful. So coming back to now FRM level 1 and CFA level 2. So
mm-hmm.
did you try to find any commonalities, or what was your preparation when you were looking at both of these together?
Yes. So I think there were a few topics which I felt go way deeper in FRM level 1, and I was quite surprised. So like
Okay.
fixed income and derivatives.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like even there are some yield curve strategies, if I'm not wrong, in level 1. Yeah. So
Yes.
which is covered in CFA level 3. So
Hmm.
yeah, so I think definitely I had an advantage when I had prepared for FRM level 1 thoroughly. So
Hmm.
when I was preparing for FRM level 1, I made it a point that as soon as I finished each chapter, I solve question bank, and the question bank I was using was quite extensive. So I was covering every aspect of the chapter, and I was getting better with it.
Right.
So yeah, so fixed income and derivatives uh, are the main overlaps when you see CFA level 2 and FRM level 1. And
Right.
I would say CFA level 2 is slightly a narrower version of what FRM level 1 has to offer uh, income on these two topics.
Also there is regression, the quant side, the linear
Yeah,
regression that
yeah,
you do. So
correct,
that
correct,
is
correct.
a time series primarily. You have already
Yeah,
that covered in FRM level 1. So FRM level 1 book, the quant book is very much exhaustive in terms of it covers CFA level 1 plus CFA level 2. And
exactly.
that is a primary thing that most of the people fear, because that statistics part. And if you're
Mm-hmm.
thorough with the FRM level 1 piece, you can easily tackle these two exams, quant side at least, right?
Exactly, exactly.
And so in your CFA level 2 piece, so apart from the 60% of the portion that you were focusing, so FRA
Mm-hmm.
or ethics, so did you keep that topics at the end, or you were able to cover it before it with?
No, I think FRA was my Achilles heel. I was not
Okay.
really good at it, given that I had an engineering background, and even during my MBA days, I didn't take a particular liking to accounting and such.
Okay.
So yeah, I felt FRA needed special attention. So during my FRM initial phase of my preparation, in the first
Okay.
15-20 days, I extensively solved for FRA. And yeah, so I think I gave special attention to FRA, given that it has a huge weightage also in CFA level 2.
Right.
So yeah, yeah, ethics I did it towards the end only. Yeah, but FRA I did earlier.
Okay. 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 So primarily, FRA was part of the 60% that you tried to cover
Yeah, exactly,
beforehand.
exactly.
Beforehand. Okay. Okay.
Yes, yes.
And one of the topic in CFA level 2, which is economics, which a lot of people face problem, because it is
Mm-hmm.
way theory, and theory which normally we do not read. So, and not many people have liking towards economics. So did you face any specific problem or any strategy that
Uh,
you used for that book?
I think I had spaced it out. Economics was a neutral subject for me, so I just spaced it out. I think I did two. There are four chapters, if I'm not wrong, and I did two before my like FRM exam and two afterwards. There was
Okay.
not much. Yeah, like the weightage wise, it's not quite heavy also, and the questions were also I felt not very difficult. So yeah, it was
Okay.
quite doable.
Cool. So if I look at somebody who plans to give, suppose, let us talk about first FRM, level 1 and level 2. Then what would be the key thing that you could tell them that they should do in terms of their preparation? Key steps or methods
Okay.
as per you?
So I feel for FRM level 1, it's all about practice. How thorough are you with the curriculum? And at times it can be overwhelming, like towards the end of your preparation to revise the entire syllabus. Uh, it
Okay.
doesn't matter if you have prepared it once if you are not able to revise it. So there are so many topics and so many concepts to be revised that it becomes very difficult to revise at the end. So you should focus on solving as soon as you do it, as soon as your chapter is done, because it helps you retain very well.
Right.
So if a chapter you have solved it, so your retention drastically goes up rather than just reading it. So I think that helped me, because even I had very less time for revision, but
Mm-hmm.
given the fact that I had solved a lot of question banks, and I had systematically kept notes of those. So
Okay.
as because I knew I would face a time crunch during revision, so I could exactly go to the problem areas which I had already highlighted and revise my weak areas. So number one is revision, and second was like keeping systematic notes of whatever you are solving. So during the last 5 days, you may need to see a sum how you had approached it back then,
Right.
and if you have it handy, it's very easy to revise it. And for
Okay.
FRM level 2, I would say you have to depend a lot on the available materials. So for FRM level 1, you will see there is an abundance of practice materials available, but that does not apply for FRM level 2,
Yes.
where the
Yes.
number of questions available
Yeah.
for practice is so less that any FRM level 2 candidate will see, and even on the exam day you will see you have not seen such kind of questions anywhere. Yeah,
You'll see the
so that is
difference.
yeah, exactly. So from FRM level 1 to FRM level 2 there is a steep climb in terms of I would say conceptual application of the theory.
Right.
So for FRM level 1 it's more straightforward when you see, because you know, because you have seen similar type of examples in Schwezer in question banks that come. But
Right.
in FRM level 2, when a question is thrown at you, it comes from 2 to 3
More or less
topics.
mixed. Yeah.
Yeah, it's more or less mixed. The question size is bigger, so you need good comprehension skills as well, and the options are equally confusing as well. So it's a different ball game when it comes to level 2. Yeah,
Right.
so you need different approaches for both the levels.
Perfect. So that's the speciality of FRM level 2. So because the
Exactly.
questions are very less, 80, and they
Yeah,
try
yeah.
to cover all the topics by giving you mixed questions, bigger question, complicated questions, so that your morale is broken in the exam
Mm-hmm.
and you pick
Yeah,
up
yeah,
wrong answers.
yeah.
So, and for CFA level 2, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
will you like to give any tips with respect to your preparation?
CFA level 2, I think I had an edge because slightly I was doing FRM level 1. Okay, so
Okay.
FRM level 1 already made my fixed income and derivatives uh, a bit stronger than what was expected for CFA level 2.
Okay.
I realized FRA was a pain point for me, and it is for most of the candidates who are from non-commerce backgrounds.
Right. Right.
So yeah, and the questions are typically difficult when it comes to paper 2 of CFA level 2. The
Right.
paper tends to get difficult in FRA.
Hmm.
So even commerce candidates find it difficult at times. So I would say don't take FRA lightly. Uh, it's like a major component of your preparation, and there are a lot of things to conceptualize and a lot of things to rote
Right.
memorize also, because there are accounting rules, so you will have to remember them.
Okay.
Other
Okay.
chapters, I think FRA, fixed income derivatives would be like, I would say, like it will take a lot of your preparation time, and there are some easy low hanging fruits like equity. Equity may be a voluminous chapter, but it's very easy. Like, it's more of formula based, and yeah, you will be
Right.
able to do it. Yeah.
Okay. And can you, so what was your last 2 weeks of your preparation when you were looking at
Okay.
all the things together for FRM
Yeah.
level 1, level 2?
Yeah. Last 2 weeks, I guess it was quite panicky for me. So I was still I was sure of FRM level 1, but what I felt was like maybe I was losing things, like, yeah, I was not able to keep them in my mind. So still I was like, FRM level 1, I was a bit confident that I would be able to clear it anyways. But FRM level 2 I was more worried about, because all the effort would go in vain if I like, don't clear FRM level 2. I
Right.
knew somewhere, I would be, it would be easy to clear FRM level 1.
Okay.
So
Okay.
what I did, like the last 2 weeks, I was like, I guess, revising, studying for close to 16 to 17 hours, or maybe 18 hours also on some days. So
Wow.
and most of it was FRM level 2. I would say like more than 10, 11 hours. Because I had seen those chapters exactly 2 months or 1.5 months back, and that too once.
Right. Right.
So
Right.
yeah. So I didn't get a second round on those chapters. So I knew, like, the second round I used to, like, most probably this would be the last time I would be seeing that chapter
Right.
before the exam. Once, two
Right.
months before, when I prepared it the first time, then this week, and maybe just before the exam, all I would be seeing that chapter again.
Right.
So I knew I had to make the most of those 2 weeks. So yeah, it was mostly FRM level 2, and again in the order of my priority, like credit risk, market risk, and risk investment current issues. That way.
Okay.
Yeah,
And I remember
and
we had a discussion before the start of the start of the preparation that these 2 months, 2.5 months, you will never get back in in your life. So primarily because you're
yeah,
free,
yeah,
entirely free for 2.5 months, and you can put in and
exactly.
go for it.
Yeah. I had to exploit those free 75 days, because most of my colleagues in my college, like most of my friends, they had already joined the corporate sector, so they were getting experience, they were getting paid, and I had the option to just waste my 70-75 days, delay dally or do something, or I could do something very productive in that 75 days.
Right.
So I wanted to fully exploit that opportunity of 75 days. So I was like, what can I do which will, further help in my career? Because once you join the corporate world, it becomes difficult to do studying as well as
Yes,
working full
yes,
time. Yeah.
yes. That becomes
So
very, very difficult. Well, especially if you're going for two exams together at least, so that becomes very
yeah,
painful in terms of preparation. So
exactly.
wonderful, and thank you very much, Swapnil, for putting forward your thoughts, your ideas, and giving that background to our audience, our students. Because one thing that I would like to highlight is that even if you're from a non-commerce background and you're going for such bigger, difficult exams, it is not tough. Only thing that matters is how consistently you're preparing and how
Mhm.
consistently you're planning and putting your efforts. That's the reason. That was one of the reason I wanted Swapnil to come down for this session, so that people can see that it is not difficult to clear these exams in one go altogether. So definitely, thank you very much, Swapnil, for giving your time
No worries.